I've asked this question a number of times throughout my priesthood and my time in Bay St. Louis. Why did Jesus come? Why did he come? And there are a lot of correct answers to that question. When he's being questioned by Pilate, he said he came to testify to the truth. When he was preaching in Galilee, the people said, "Stay here." And he says, "No, I have to go to the other villages because that's why I came." And today in the gospel we hear him say, or we hear John comment, "For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world might be saved through him." And if you keep reading that section of the Gospel of John, you will learn that, if you will, the world is already condemned. This world is passing away. Death reigns in this world. And Jesus comes to save us from the reign of death. And what symbolizes the reign of death? In the Old Testament, we can recall, hopefully, the story of the fall. And the story of the fall is Satan attacking our first parents. Satan in the form of a serpent. Evil, sin, death attacks them, and they fall. And there is death, and death enters the world. And God begins the plan of salvation, and he rescues his chosen people who are going to be the vessel of salvation for the world. That's his plan. Or, this is how it's unfolding. And he brings them out of slavery, and they're in the desert. And he's leading them. And what is their response? We're sick of this food. We're tired of being here. We want to go back to slavery. At least we had a full belly. And what is God's response? You want death? You want death? I'll give you death. And we see the serpent reappear. Now, this is a mysterious story. The whole thing, the reality of evil, the mystery of evil. Every time I preach about the kerygma, I preach about God is good and life is a gift. And then as soon as those words get out of my mouth, I have to say, and oh yeah, then we have the mystery of evil. But there they are, complaining against God, and death emerges in a very concrete way. And then God gives them a command through Moses to look at the serpent, to look at death itself, to stare at the reality of death, and you will be healed. Now, how does that work exactly? I'm not sure. But that's not the end of the story, is it? Because Jesus became sin for us. Have you ever heard that? That's a line in the New Testament. Jesus took upon himself. Think about the cross. Think about what led to our Lord's crucifixion. And this will not be an exhaustive list. He was lied about. He was abandoned by his friends. He foresaw. He was anxious about the suffering that was coming. He was tortured in front of his mother. He was hungry and thirsty and locked up. He was treated like a criminal. There were evil people that were let go so that he would stay in jail. There was a popularity contest and he lost to Barabbas. Every imaginable. He was alone. He was abandoned. All of that is the cross. What are you afraid of? When we think about our journey through this life, today we have the exaltation of the cross. Do you know, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I absolutely 100%, I am totally convinced of this. Meditate on the cross. It will heal you. Meditate on the cross. There's a healing power. We face our fears. We face abandonment. We face pain. We face suffering. We face aloneness. We face death. And Christ is there. And I'm sorry I'm going on and on, but this story of Moses and the serpent in the desert, it's like, how can that make sense? It doesn't make sense until Jesus is lifted up on the cross. And if we see the serpent as sin and death, and we see the cross as Jesus taking sin and death upon himself, and if we have the grace of God in us, and God's grace is present in the world, calling everyone to the cross, to meditate on the cross, is a healing gift. Today, we don't run from the cross, we exalt the cross of our Lord Jesus.